Let me be real with you. I have a master's degree in clinical animal behavior, and it's helped me in my job as a dog trainer and canine behaviorist massively. But the truth is, before I started that course, I was already running a multiple seven-figure dog training business. So here's the truth. Qualifications alone don't make you a good dog trainer. And just because you don't have them doesn't mean that you're not capable. So if you're confused about what you actually need to be able to achieve success in this industry, then this video is going to break it all down for you and give you a really clear picture. So the first thing I want to talk about is that qualifications absolutely can help, but only when you know how to use them and implement them. Because the reality is that academic knowledge and understanding is incredibly powerful, but only when you know how to actually implement it. And unless you want to become a full-time professor in the animal behavior or training world, where all you do for your income is passing on that knowledge to other aspiring professionals, at some point you are going to then have to take that knowledge and you're going to have to work with real clients with real dogs. And if you don't have that ability to take the knowledge and make it actually accessible and for it to actually work, then that qualification has done you a disservice. And I would never badmouth anyone or name names, but I've seen multiple trainers with PhDs not be able to work on very, very basic pulling cases and have no success. And I've seen many trainers with no qualifications have huge amounts of success every single day with much more complicated cases and behaviors. So the first key takeaway point is that if you are going to invest in a qualification for yourself in this industry, make sure it is a qualification that builds real world competence and isn't just there to slap some letters after your name and actually doesn't help you be any better in real world cases with real people, with real dogs. And the second aspect I want us to cover in this video is that there are no legal qualifications that are required for you to start working as a dog trainer or canine behaviorist, especially in the countries where I've ever visited or worked, like here in the UK or over in the States. So you absolutely don't need any formal qualifications to get started. The problem is that when you get started and start working with clients, especially if it's clients who have worked with other professionals, they will very quickly be able to tell if you're just winging it and making it up as you go along. And most trainers start full of enthusiasm and passion, but again, that can only really take you so far. You need to not just know how to implement things successfully, but you have to have that academic understanding of what you're doing and, more importantly, why you're doing it. Because the reality is that although you might get lucky with a few cases to start with where everything goes to plan with the implementation, but as soon as you run into a case that it doesn't go to plan, if you don't have that underpinning of why we do what we do, you won't be able to be flexible and be bespoke, to make alterations, to make changes to the plan, to be able to allow for success. Then that paired with that, a lot of clients are interested, curious people and will ask why you're doing why does something work? And again, if you don't have clear, logical answers to that question, you are going to show yourself as a lesser knowledgeable and then therefore, in their eyes, a lesser skilled, lesser valued canine professional. And it's in that problem where having those academic qualifications can be incredibly useful, where it does give you that academic understanding and underpinning, and then it's super useful and super beneficial if building on from that, those qualifications not just give you that knowledge and underpinning academically, but how to implement it practically as well. Now, the third thing that I want us to talk about, and we're going to be jumping kind of back and forward through this video to give you the pros and cons, is that I truly believe that your reputation will outrank your qualifications always. Again, I'm not saying that qualifications aren't important. I've had a lot of success from my master's degree. I learned a lot academically, as well as how to implement it practically, as well the branding benefits that such a qualification of that magnitude brings to you as a professional. But what is way more important than all of those things for me, and is absolutely more relevant to the success that I've had, is my reputation. And my reputation is built and guarded with everything that I have to be about results-driven kindness approach to helping people with their dogs. I have no desire in the clients that I work with thinking that I'm some academic guru that knows all the big and fancy words. I would rather break things down as simply as possible, even if it means me not being able to show off just quite how much I do actually know, but that it facilitates change with them, leads to the results that they're looking for, so that my reputation continues to build as somebody that has success, can actually fix people's problems, and was fun, kind, and trustworthy in the process. That is what has driven my success far more than my qualifications. My qualifications were a cherry on top of the cake of my reputation. It has driven things faster and further, but it wasn't the thing in the first place. And if I didn't have my reputation, then my master's degree would have been useless. It wouldn't have provided any benefit. So focus on reputation first and build a reputation as a kind, trustworthy, nice person to be with that helps your clients be able to get the success that they're looking for. Because again, although qualifications can be useful, it can increase your conversion rates of your clients a little bit. But what your clients want first and foremost is results. So if your reputation is built on results, if you have proof of your results through documenting your results on social media, on your website, through testimonials, through reviews, all of those things are going to have a way bigger impact on your conversion metrics to actually book paying clients than a few letters after your name. Again, to be able to get results, you have to have that academic understanding and underpinning, and be able to do so in such a way that allows you to implement it in such a way that allows you to have the results that you're looking for, which is why this conversation isn't as black and white of get some qualifications or don't. But it's really important that you view the decision of what qualifications you want to pursue through the right lens. Now, I've got a couple more really important points that I want to talk about when it comes to qualifications, but I can't make a whole video about qualifications without at least mentioning the advanced diploma in canine behavior and training that I created. And the reason that I created it is for this exact reason that we're talking about. When I started, that course didn't exist. The course that provides that academic underpinning in its entirety, everything that you need to know, whilst helping you become a lifelong learner that's constantly and evolving and growing in their craft, a critical thinker that can take new information and decide why and if it should be implemented into their practice, alongside how to become a better educator, a better communicator, so that you can deliver that value to the clients in a way in which it is practical and can be implemented with real dogs, with real people, with real cases. And I saw time and time again people struggling because that didn't exist. So me and my team have spent years crafting what we believe to be the single best qualification in the dog world for aspiring and current canine professionals. Again, it's my advanced diploma in canine behavior and training. There'll be a link to it in the description box below, alongside a special discount for my YouTube viewers, just to thank you for being here and committing to becoming a better practitioner. So if you want to learn more about that qualification, you can do. There'll be a link just in the description box below. But let's move on to some of the next points that I think you should consider when it comes to qualifications, even frankly if that means that my advanced diploma isn't then for you. And that next point is that what really matters at the end of the day is what you can do, not what you know. And again, it's a nice simple sentence to say, but the reality is your ability of what you can do is informed in at least some part by what you know. And if you want to be able to do better, you have to know more. But from the client's perspective, looking at this from a business perspective, what they're going to focus on first and foremost is what can you do for me? This is a business exchange at the end of the day. I, as the consumer, as the client, as the customer, I have a problem. My dog isn't behaving the way I want them. I'm bringing a puppy and I want to raise it to not have problems in the future. I cannot do that alone. I don't have the knowledge, skill, or experience to be able to do it. That is my problem. I am therefore willing to pay for somebody to help solve that problem, which is where you come in. What is important to me first and foremost is, can you solve my problem? Do you know what to do to solve my problem? If the answer to that question is yes, and then I find some other people who can also solve that problem, then to help me make my decision between those people, I might then go, well, what do you know? What are your qualifications? What is your underpinning? That might then be factored in. More likely, what's going to be factored in is, who would I rather work with? Who seems like a nicer person? Who do I think I would get on with better? Maybe I'm going to look at their social media, and this person makes hate-filled negative content full of swearing just to try and get more views. And even though it gets more views, that's not for me. This person has a lot less views, but their content's really good. It's really interesting. It clearly shows me that they can do what it is that I'm looking to have help solve my problem. Those things are going to get factored in. So again, we have to make sure you're doing the level of learning, and potentially qualifications and courses can help you achieve that to be able to do the job well. And then you need to be able to communicate to potential clients that you can do the job well and that you are a nice person that they'll get on with as we go through this process together. And the last thing that I want to touch on, again, just to drive home the importance of this, especially when we're looking through the lens of qualifications, is that the best canine practitioners, and I've had the privilege of working with the best of the best all around the world, meeting the best of the best all around the world, and there is something that is clear as day that separates them from people that are barely making it by, is that the best in the world never stopped learning. They were always growing. They are obsessed with trying to find better ways to do things, try and find better ways to explain things, trying to become a better communicator, trying to become a better educator. That skill of wanting to be a leader in this industry is fueled by your ability to be a lifelong learner. The second you stop learning is the second that you start dying in terms of your business. You will go on that curve towards extinction. It will happen. It always happens. The people that have the longevity in this career and build the biggest and most successful businesses in this career are the ones that are always learning, are always growing. And if you speak to them 2 years ago, and then speak to them today, their business will look different. They will sound different. They'll conduct themselves differently. Their methodology will have altered, will have evolved, will have grown. They're the people that have the most success. And again, qualifications can be a huge part in that process. You may already have a good level of skill. You may already know certain topics, but it might be worth investing in courses, investing in seminars, investing in shadowing programs with elite professionals to go spend time with them to see how they implement that knowledge, how they explain it to clients, how they build and grow their businesses. The return on investment on those things will be so much higher than the investment in the course if it's a good one, in the seminar if it's a good one, in the shadowing, consulting or mentorship if it's a good one. The return on investment for those things will far outweigh what you need to spend to do it, because it will make you a better practitioner, which will increase your value, which will increase the demand for your service, which will increase what you can charge for your service. And all of those things allow you to create a better, bigger and more sustainable business. So if you want to be a lifelong leader in this industry, become a lifelong learner and decide for yourself how you're going to facilitate that learning. Again, if you're interested in learning more from me, you could check out my advanced diploma in canine behavior and training. That'll be linked in the description box below alongside that special discount. But hopefully we drove the message home today that you don't have to have qualifications, but qualifications built on a good reputation and are utilized as part of this commitment to being a lifelong learner can be one of the most powerful tools at your disposal to grow one of the biggest businesses in this industry. And that is what I would love for you to be able to achieve. So thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new here, and can't wait to see you on the next video.